Hey everybody, welcome back to another review of Married at First Sight. This is going to be season 14, episode 4. Yeah. As always, your boy Big James, the Big Eyed himself. And this episode was entertaining. It was a pretty good episode. For 2 hours, it was good. Even though not a lot happened. So, I guess it's just the bits and pieces that did happen because it was a lot of bullshit in this episode. It was a lot. But we'll get to it. I'm gonna go couple by couple, except for the time when the couples were all together. I'll probably discuss that separately or just throw it in the mix somewhere. But it's good too. We're gonna start out with the couple that had the least drama. That was Steve and Noy. It starts out with all the couples waking up in the morning, spending the night together. Steve seemed like he was a little bit remiss that they didn't have sex, even though he wasn't expecting sex. I think he felt like it would have still been nice. Uh, After waking up, they meet each other's parents and friends, family and friends. Noy meets with Steve's friends and his parents, and they ask her about how does she feel about Steve not having a job. How does she feel about him wearing the Laotian uh, garment during the ceremony? And Noy says that she's not happy about Steve not having a job, but he seems like he kind of knows what he's doing or he's got it together because Steve doesn't seem very concerned about it. But Steve's dad tells Noy that Steve's kind of a vagabond. Uh, he just travels around with no job, just doing what he do. Which I don't understand. But I think Steve said he had a house, he had a place to stay. So, but I do remember Steve saying he was living out of a van down by the river. So maybe he doesn't have a place to stay. He's got to have a place to stay now. I hadn't thought of that. And she started crying because she said she was so happy because she brought up the whole Steve wearing the sash thing at the wedding, and she was like he was just all into it because it was a tradition for her family and for her culture. And Steve was just like he was happy to do it, like it didn't bother him at all, and that made her very happy that he was so open and willing to do that. And Steve seemed like the kind of guy that's he go along with anything. He doesn't seem very stickler for anything. He's very open to stuff. But she said that him not having a job is a concern, but she's not worried about it yet. It's something they need to talk about. Steve talks to Noy's friends and family, and Steve and Noy's brother is there, but he's there in drag as Sriracha. And it was weird because he was like, "Well, this is how I'm coming to you today," even though you could tell I was kind of filmed at the wedding. This is me all out, you know. And how you gonna deal with this? And Steve was like, "Yo, I don't give a fuck." Steve seems really like a go with the flow kind of guy. And the brother was questioning him, asking him about how they consummated, and they hadn't. And it seemed like I didn't know. I couldn't tell if he was upset or happy that they hadn't consummated. He went basically back and forth. Sriracha, Noy's brother was couldn't make up his mind what he was doing, what role he was playing. Was he playing the big brother role or like the sister friend role? So a lot of the stuff he was asking was something you would hear a brother like, don't mess with my sister, leave her alone. You gotta take care of her and be there for her. But then he would also be like, don't get it in, do your thing. Do like it was just which one you is right now. And he was like, I'm all of them. Shit. They talked to Steve about, what's up with this job thing. And Steve like, said we know you're freelancing, but like, he's doing freelance, like I guess contract work here and there, but what's up with you getting something regular, 9 to 5? Now the thing is though, Steve is like he really doesn't want to do that. Because one of the things he said, I think he said to Noe later, was that he's making more money doing this than he was with a job, which is very much possible. I know a lot of nurses do that. They'll be a nurse at a hospital and then they'll quit to become a damn light blinded me to become a traveling nurse, and then they'll get contracted by the same hospital for more money. So, and I know in the military people did that. They would be in the military and they would get out and get a job with a military contractor doing the same thing and make like 5 times as much money. A lot of people do that, and all like for city governments, everything, even trash men. It's trash men that work for a city, and then they'll quit working for the city to get a job doing contract work or freelancing for like a private company, making way more than they were working for a city. So I get what he's saying, but I know it's probably not something that makes other people feel good. So it is definitely something that him and Noy need to talk about. And later on, they meet up, and Noy says, "Hey, what's going on with this job thing?" And Steve is like, "Right now, what's going on in my life, freelancing serves me better than having a regular 9 to 5." And Noy seems like she's okay with it, but she's kind of not okay with that. I guess I don't know. I can't pass judgment. I can't say anything. I don't know because I don't know what his living situation is. Maybe he's got money. Maybe he is making a ton more money doing this than he was before. Because he can somehow afford to do all this traveling, and it's not stressing him out. And he probably wasn't too settled because he didn't have a reason to be too settled. So until they get off the honeymoon and get back home to Boston, there's no real way to know how this is really going to be. So I'm going to hold off my judgment on him and both of them about the working situation because I don't know. I think that was it for them for the whole episode. Next couple I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do Michael and Jasmina. Uh, Jasmina is beautiful. She's very attractive. Uh, they wake up. I can't think of anything particular about them. Oh, it was something that happened with them. I can't remember what it was now. Anyway, they meet up with each other's family and friends, and Jasmina meets up with Michael's sisters, and his sisters. They love Jasmina. They're happy she's around and that she's there. They don't really do him any favors because they tell her that he's kind of a pessimist. He always expects things to go wrong. He expects bad things to happen, which Jasmina did not like to hear. She was like, she can't deal with that. She wants someone that's more hopeful, more optimistic. And Jasmina tells Michael's sisters that she's never been in a relationship with someone that was in the same state as her. And I'm like, how is that even possible? That you've never had a boyfriend in the same state as you? Because I'm thinking about her. She had the ex who cheated on her, had a baby on her, and I'm like, I don't think he was with you. If he lived in one state, you lived in another. I think you was the side chick. That man had a whole other family. Apparently, shit. He didn't step out. He went home. If she was like, how can she like? I've never. So how do they spend time together? How they do anything together? Was it only on the weekend thing? Because the more I'm thinking about, I'm like, from what she was saying, I was like, oh, this is fucked up. But now to know that he stayed in a whole other state away from her, well, they were in New England, so it's uh, that is true. They are in New England, and all those states are just they're not that far. I think a lot of those states could have equaled up to one state, so that is true. Him in another state could have been like a 10-minute drive. Shit. So maybe it's not that dramatic. But anyway, that's still something. Because his sisters were like, how did this work? How did this, y'all never live together? You never, because she said before she never stayed with a guy before ever. She told her mom that. So, but Jasmine, it seems like, I think Jasmina might be a problem. She seems like someone, she said she doesn't want a weak man. And her sister told her, like, Michael's not weak, but he's not going to put up with a lot of stuff either. And I think she likes to challenge or poke. because you saw her later in the episode, she likes to poke at Michael to see how he responds, and she likes to blow up. She's got some aggression in, well, not good. She's one of those women that it looks like to me, she's one of the women that says, I need a man that can control me, which I've always hated. I'm like, you're grown, control yourself. But she seems like that's how she feels. Like, I want a man that can control me. And Michael can. He stood up to her a lot. But I don't think he wants to live like that. Like, why do I have to control you? And it seems like she's gonna be somebody who picks to see what she can get away with and what you'll put up with. But I could be wrong. Michael meets up with Jasmina's mom, and her mom is like, she said out the bat, like, I'm not happy with any of this. I'm not comfortable with it, and I'm worried about my daughter. And from that point, there was nothing Michael could say. Because he was behind the 8 ball. And she's like, my daughter wants a strong man, wants all this stuff. Same stuff Jasmina has been saying. And I just feel like Michael was screwed on that. There was nothing he could say. Because she's like, I don't like this whole thing. I don't know you. You a stranger. We don't have any, like, since she was just against the whole process from the beginning, there's no way Michael could have convinced her of anything. Later on, Michael and Jasmina get together. They argue and they have a little tiff later because of what Michael's sister said to her about him being kind of a pessimist, always expecting the negative, expecting stuff to go bad. It's like everybody was describing it a different way. She was like, his sister was like, oh, he's kind of a negative Nancy. She was kind of like, oh, he's just this pessimist who, woe is me, everything's bad. And he was saying it like, I'm just a realist. He's like, things can go wrong. So it's better to prepare for things to go wrong. He's like, I just like to be prepared for whatever may happen. Because he's had a lot of deaths in his family and he's been a lot of hardships. And, I think it's different for her because her losses weren't really losses. They were just people left. Like her dad left, her biological mom left, like everybody, they left. For him, they died. They're gone. So I think he is more, things happen. And instead of being caught by surprise, he would rather be prepared. And she's looking at it like, you're hoping for things to go wrong. And he's like, no, I'm just prepared. He said, I'm just prepared in case they do. And he didn't back down, and she kept coming at him, like she didn't want to be married to that. She doesn't like that. She don't want that. And he was like, it's me. So he stood up to her then. But it's like she's poking at him. And you could see then in this argument they had, which was a small tiff, how she got very angry. And he got very calm. And he got calm as he was like, this was one of those things that was going to happen. We were going to have an argument. And he was like, I was just ready for it. I knew it was coming. So I'm kind of side-eyeing that one. Because I don't know, because Michael seems cool, but Jasmina seems like she might think he's weak. So she wants to see just how much of a man you is, which is some childish ass shit. The next couple, I'm gonna go with Mark and Lindsay. Mark and Lindsay, I like them. I like Lindsay a lot more. I like Lindsay a lot more at the start of the episode. I liked her a lot less at the end of the episode. Because like I said before, the first 3 episodes, she was drunk. She had those 2 bottles of champagne. That whole wedding day, wedding night thing, Lindsay was fucked up. Now she's sobered up. She's a lot more pleasant. I think Mark was a lot happier with her sober. They were talking in bed about were they still in bed or not? But they were talking about mothers. And she was asking about his relationship with his mother. And he opened up to her about, like, when his dad died, his mom, got real sad. It hit her hard. And she stopped taking care of herself. She stopped getting dressed. She only wore a nightgown. She didn't want to eat. She wouldn't go to the bathroom. She wouldn't get out of bed for days. She just stopped taking care of herself. And Lindsay said, well, she sounded like she has a really severe, deep depression. And he was like, yeah, we had to put her somewhere where people would take care of her because she just gave up after dad died. And I think for Mark as an only child, that's gotta be rough. That's gotta be hard. Because he doesn't even have, like, for Michael has siblings. He doesn't even have any siblings to turn to. And I think I just feel like it hurt him so much that that happened to his mother. And there's not really much he can do about it. He doesn't know how Lindsay's gonna take it. Cause he's like, that's my mom. I'm gonna be there for her and do what I can, even if it's not that much. And Lindsay was like, yeah, because she was a hospice nurse, so she knows what it's like to take care of someone like his mother. And she said, her relationship with her mother is different. She found out her mother wasn't coming through the wedding through somebody else because she saw like a text message or email or something where her mom just talking shit about her, just going off on her. That's how she found out she wasn't coming to the wedding, because her mom never actually told her, I'm not coming. And she said, they just have a bad relationship. They meet up with. It seemed like they're trauma bonding over the mom situation, which could be good or bad. I don't know, and I just don't know. And they meet up with each other's parents and family and friends. Now Mark meets with Lindsay's dad and her brother and her friends, and it's almost like they feel sorry for Mark. It's almost like they feel sorry for him. I'm sorry if my throat's kind of raggedy. I'm sorry. Uh, they give him a survival kit, and they give him they give him a no button. They say sometimes you gotta tell her no, or she'll just keep going. Tell her to stop. And her dad tell her Lindsay's mouth, man, it's nonstop. It'll get her in trouble. It'll piss you off. Like, she doesn't know how to control herself with her mouth. Like, she just goes on and on and on. She cuts deep. It gets painful. And Mark is listening to that, and I don't know how he's taking it, but I'm like, you should listen to her dad and her brother. These are people who know her. They grew up with her, known her all her life. And they're like, her mouth will get her fucked up, and it's going to get you fucked up. Her mouth got them fucked up. Like, day 2. Lindsay meets with Mark's friends, and she's having a good time because she's very easy to get along with. She's very friendly, very loud, very open. And if you're open and receptive to, yeah, because she's really you can tell she's a nice person. But she talks a lot of shit, and so it's up to the people how they feel about it. And she asked his friend, about the situation with his mom. And they tell her, it's real sensitive to him, it's real important to him. And she's like, yeah, I could probably be there for him, support him, because we both have mom problems. Not of the same kind, but Later that evening, they meet back up. Shit, I forget what they're packing to go on a honeymoon. And Mark, what did he say he wanted to eat? Chicken or something? They're going to Puerto Rico. And I think on the after party, they said the reason they went to Puerto Rico was because some of the cast members didn't have passports. So they couldn't go nowhere out of the country. That might have been why they went to Florida for the last season, because some of them didn't have passports. And I think Mark didn't have a passport. So he's never traveled anywhere. He's never been anywhere besides Boston. So this is his first time getting on a plane, first time going anywhere, traveling anywhere, any of that, like all of it was his first time for him. And for Lindsay, it's not a big deal. She said she lived in Puerto Rico for 8 months. She travels all the time. She's always going places. So for her, I'm pretty sure she had her passport. Mark did not have a passport. I don't even think he had luggage. They had to probably get him fucking suitcases. But he said he wanted to go to Puerto Rico and eat fried chicken. And she was like, we're not eating no fucking fried chicken in Puerto Rico. He said, well, I'll tell you what, I will eat some goldfish. This man had a suitcase full of goldfish. The little kids goldfish that they had. He had just a bunch of it. Like, oh my goodness. Well, shit, he won't starve to death. Shit, you can't put it on a plane, can it? A suitcase full of goldfish. I don't know if you can travel with that. Anyway, they head off to their honeymoon with everybody. They land in Puerto Rico. Shit go left because they don't want to get on the bus with the other couples. But they never show anything, they never explain anything. Like, why does Mark and Lindsay, basically, why does Lindsay not want to get on the bus with the other couples? So they go to the bus with the other couples on it, and Elijah and Katina is like, good, don't let them motherfuckers on this bus. They is going, Katina and Elijah are going off how they don't want them on the bus with them. They not going to ride on the bus with Mark and Lindsay. So we're like, what the hell happened on the plane between Mark and Lindsay and Katina and Elijah? Apparently, it was not, Mark wasn't involved in it. It was between Lindsay and Elijah. Now, Elijah explains on After Party, because during the show they never show what happened. They never even explain what happened, or they kind of explain what happened, but they don't. On the After Party, Elijah and Mark are there, and they say this is what happened. Elijah said this is what happened. What he says happened, and basically Lindsay explains it too, and it all links up from her perspective and from what they say from what they saw. Is that Lindsay was on the plane, and he said, she saw the camera. She was doing too much. She saw that Elijah had on like some slippers or some shoes. Somebody's on the plane, and she said, "Them shoes make you look ugly." And Elijah like, I don't know this woman. This is my first time ever seeing her, and she gonna sit here and tell me how I look. And she's sitting right behind us, and he's like, the whole plane trip, she's just talking, she's going off, she's making little comments, and I'm ignoring them. She's like putting on a whole show. She was doing it for so much that the flight attendant had to come and tell her she needed to calm down. She needed to stop. So she asked him, hey, Elijah, when we get to Puerto Rico, are you going to speak Spanish? And he was like, do you know Spanish? He was like, I know a little bit of Spanish, not a lot, but I'm going to speak English when I get here because that's the language I'm comfortable with. And she was like, oh, no, you got to speak Spanish here. This is their language. You got to speak it. And he was like, you don't tell me what I got to do. You ain't my mom. You ain't nobody. You don't tell me what the fuck to do. So he said, he just couldn't take it no more because she had been saying stuff to him the whole flight that he just didn't like and didn't appreciate. And, he said he was trying to talk to Katina, but Lindsay was always in his ear because her and Mark were right behind them. They did show that when they were on the flight, it was like the little couples camera thing that you could see Katina and Elijah and you see Mark and Lindsay like right behind them. And he was like, and then Mark was there too for that part. He said that, yeah, Lindsay did all of that. And he said he told her on the plane, like, this is how you're going to be. I can't be with you. Because he was like, she was just disrespectful. She was just loud, putting on a show, just picking at people. The damn flight attendants were like, you need to stop. And so when they're getting off the plane in Puerto Rico, that's what she told Elijah, you need to speak Spanish. And she like, so what? And so he stood up and she stood up because they were getting ready to get off the plane. And she was like, what you gonna do? You gonna fight me, huh? You wanna fight? You wanna fight? And that's when Katina jumped in and was like, who the fuck is you talking to? So then her and Katina started going in. So it's Elijah and Katina against Lindsay. And Mark's not involved because Mark has already told Lindsay, you need to fucking stop. So when they get there, Katina is done. I'm gonna go ahead and tell them about Katina and Elijah. Katina is fucking done with Lindsay. They got no problems with Mark, but she's done with Lindsay. Elijah like, hey, I don't even give a fuck. I don't care. I just want to get to know my wife. I'm not worried about her. She needs to worry about Mark. Don't worry about me. Which is absolutely true. Lindsay, Mark, and Lindsay, they ride a separate bus back to the resort or the hotel or wherever they're staying. And he says, hey, he tells Lindsay, hey, take a bath, get yourself together, calm down, go to sleep. We'll worry about it more right now. We don't need to worry about that. Let's just have a good time. We get to know each other. We get to meet them and know them tomorrow. And Lindsay started saying what she felt happened. And it is the most self-victimizing bullshit you've ever heard. The only person that I feel was correct was Mark. Because Mark came down. Let me say, Lindsay says that, she felt threatened by Olajuwon. He put his chest out. He was really going to fight her. She's like, I was just playing. She's like, I wasn't serious like that. I was just joking, having fun, messing around. And she's like, and I couldn't believe he got like that. I just didn't feel safe around him. And just a bunch of white victimhood bullshit. White woman, he was trying, even though she started the whole fucking thing. Not only does Olajuwon continue, but her own husband is like, you kicked this whole shit off. You were the aggressor. You were the one fucking with people. So Mark comes down to where the rest of the people are at to get a drink and leaves Lindsay in the hotel room. Just woe is me, because that's all she was fucking doing. And he says, like, hey, I don't want to do that. That's not me. That's not how I want to get down. He's like, I think it's just a miscommunication. We don't know each other. You don't know us. We don't know you. I told her, like, this isn't cool. You don't know these people. You can't do that. You can't talk to people any kind of way. So everybody's cool with Mark, but they were like, what the fuck going on with Lindsay? Because Lindsay's so much. She's loud. She's in your face. And she just said whatever she wants to say. And that ain't going to sit right with everybody. It did not sit right with Katina and Olajuwon at all. Olajuwon said he doesn't care that much. He's willing to go past it. Mark apologized on behalf, like, you didn't do shit. But he was like, he just didn't want to. So he sat there and he drank with the rest of them. He hung out with them. And yeah, that was Mark and Lindsay. I don't know how this shit gonna go. Because I don't know how much. Because Mark seems so laid back and cool. And Lindsay seems like she is just real yelly and in your face. And I'm certain she wasn't serious trying to fight him. I'm pretty sure that she was just playing or just joking or whatever, but she was doing it in her way with people she don't know. There's no way that's gonna fly. Nobody know you. Nobody knows if you playing. Nobody knows if you serious or what. So I'm certain she was playing, but wasn't nobody else playing. And then when she realized that everybody else was serious as a motherfucker, she didn't know what to do. So she said, they're attacking me. Not realizing, or maybe realizing that she was the one that was the aggressor, attacking every fucking body else. But yeah. That's Mark and Lindsay shit. I don't know how they gonna go at all. Next couple is Katina and Olajuwon. Katina and Olajuwon, they show them waking up in the morning. Olajuwon says that, he learned that he's a bad cuddler from his wife, which he said he never cuddled before, because he's basically saying that he's never been in bed with a woman that he didn't have sex with before. Basically what he was saying. So he like, I don't know how to cuddle. I never cuddled before. Excuse me. Allergies or something. And which I can't cuddle either. If we're in the bed together and you rub up on me, you put your arms around me, I put my arms around you, we ain't finna cuddle. So I'm a terrible cuddler too. I really am. So I understand what he's getting, but his reasoning behind it is that he never hung around with other women to cuddle. He was just in and out. So shit. And he said, I got a pad. He asked Katina about her. She's like, yeah, I had a dude on the side. I had a little F buddy. And he was like, I can't judge you and you can't judge me, so we square. Katina was like, and I was sitting there like, And this is the thing about it that I noticed about Elijah Wan. He talks about his past a lot. Like, it means a lot to him. It's very important to him that everybody knows he was knocking them down. Even though he's married, he wants even his wife to know. Before I married you, I was out here killing it. I was just smashing. Whereas Katina is like, well, yeah, I had a past, but I don't want to talk about it. He loves talking about his past. uh, he said he loved that she didn't have. Was that him or Michael? One of them said they loved that their wife didn't have morning breath, but I was like, that's bullshit. Everybody has morning breath. Uh, what else happened? I don't think anything else happened. They went to meet up with the families, and Katina met with Elijah Wan's mother and his friends and family, and they like her a lot. I can't think of anything that happened with them significant when she met with O's family. I'm trying to remember. Maybe it'll come to me. Elijah Wan met with Katina's her parents and her family and friends, and they could smell his bullshit a mile away. He was just talking, and wasn't saying shit. And they all was like, I don't believe nothing he said. They look offended. They like, I don't believe shit he said. He lied. That man ain't ready to get married. He up to something. He said that this was just another adventure for him. He wants to try something new. They were like, married ain't just something you try. It's something you do. It's not just an experience. And he was talking like it was just something he was just doing for the time being. And they was like, no, it's for real with her. This is what she wants to do. She wants to be married. And he talking about how he used to be, man. I was back there, I was killing them, boy. I was boom, boom, boom. And all of her friends they was like, who the fuck is this dude here? Like, and he could tell that they was just seeing right through him. Cause one of her friends, I think, said later, he just trying to be on TV. He just doing this to be seen and try to get his name out there so he can get more girls. He don't really want to be married, And that's just the impression he gives. So I just don't understand who he thinks he's fooling or what he thinks he's doing because nobody believes it. But her friends had her back. They really did. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna tell her, like, we don't believe shit this dude said. And he could tell it, he could feel it, he could sense it. Because when they all left and when they came back, he was like, I know y'all don't believe me, but it's true. They were like, we don't believe you. No. You sound like you lying. So that was Elijah Wan. I don't know. He did not win the family oath. He goes. They get ready to go to Puerto Rico. That's when all that shit happened with them. And Mark, and Lindsay. And Katina said that, she not gonna forgive Lindsay. She not gonna look past it. She's like, no. She's like, I'll be cordial. I'll be polite, but we not gonna be cool. Ever. And Elijah Wan was like, yo, I don't even care. If she wants to apologize, then okay, I'll accept her apology because that's not my focus. That's not my concern. I want to get to know my wife. I'm not trying to get to know nobody else. And Katina was like, I don't want to talk to her. Katina was completely done. She wasn't feeling any of that. She didn't even want to hear about it. So I'm curious to see how that situation go for the rest of the honeymoon and for the rest of the season. It's rare you see two couples have issues with each other. Like full blown. It's day 2. Like the wedding was yesterday, the day before. It was yesterday. Our last couple, Chris and Alyssa. They did not sleep in the same room together. She wants everybody to know that. She is not attracted to Chris at all. Alyssa had me so pissed this whole motherfucking episode. I really don't like this woman. I don't like her because she won't do the adult thing and just say, I'm not attracted to you, so I don't want to be married to you. I don't want to do this anymore because there's no attraction. Not only is there no attraction, she doesn't want to get to even know him out of the risk that she might develop an attraction to him based on something else. So they don't talk at all. They meet up with each other's families, and she pretty much stonewalls his family. Doesn't want to talk to him and just like, yeah, hey, he seems nice, whatever, okay. He goes talk to her family, and he tells them like, yo, she's not talking to me. She doesn't want to know me. She doesn't want to be around me. Like, I don't get it. You see, yesterday everything was cool. Today, last night something happened. I don't know what happened. And her friends and family were like, yeah, she does this. Like, you just gotta stick with it, get past her, move on. Just like, it's just her behavior, how she is. But she does like her. Like, her mom was like, but she does like you. She told me she did. But I think she like, and it's like she does not like that man. She doesn't. She don't like him at all. They don't interact or do anything at all. She says, well, they had a talk last night, and she told me that she feels we're not compatible. How would she even know you're not compatible if she done nothing to this woman decided y'all weren't compatible when she took one step down the aisle. Before she got halfway down the aisle, she was like, we're not compatible. I don't know why she even went along with it. She didn't like you as soon as she laid eyes on you. And poor Chris, I think he's starting to realize that. You never did actually like me at any point. But she won't admit that. And he called her out on. They get to Puerto Rico, and she is actively avoiding him. All the couples are together, walking around doing stuff, and there's always this 6 foot gap between her and Chris at all times. Even when they're sitting down, all the couples are sitting together. She is as far away from him as she can possibly get on the same goddamn seat. She doesn't want to give this man any hint that there's a chance. And it pisses me off that she won't just tell him, I'm not attracted to you. She is telling him everything under the fucking sun. We're not compatible. There's stuff I heard about you. There's things I've seen. And when she met his parents and his friends, they told her, like, he's a workaholic. His business comes first. He's always working, trying to do things. She's like, oh, he's always working. I can't take being second in his job. You told him you saved some fucking dogs. She said her fucking animals are more important than whoever her husband is. But him wanting to work, and he's working that hard because he's single. He's not single anymore. She was full of shit. She pissed me off. And then he called her on it. Like, you're not trying. You're not even participating. And she was like, yes, I am. I can't believe you say that. And then she got mad that he told her parents that she wasn't trying. He was like, yeah, they asked, and I told them the truth. Because you're not doing anything. She's like, are you calling me a liar? He's like, yeah, you lying. He should have called her a fucking lie. That's what she was. She's not doing anything. She is unattracted to him to the extent where she won't even talk to him out of fear that he might think there's something there. She won't be close to him out of the fear that there might be something there. She won't try to learn anything about him and doesn't want him to learn anything about her. Nothing. And then she's going to try to put the damn paper on her face, talking about, I won't be on camera if you're going to call me a liar. I don't want to be seen. What the fuck, bitch? We see you. You've been filming for 2 days. And in his interview, he said, I feel like she's just gaslighting me. Yeah, she is. Because all of this comes down to the fact that she is not attracted to you and doesn't want to be attracted to you. And instead of her just being a fucking adult and saying that, she is just pulling bullshit after bullshit out of her ass. And Chris don't deserve it. No, he hasn't done anything to deserve it. Him being lost and confused is genuine. Because like I say, this is day 2. They met yesterday. And she has decided day 2, this is the worst motherfucker on earth. This ain't gonna work. She doesn't want to know him. Because she is deathly afraid that there might be a spark there. So the best way to avoid that happening is to avoid his ass at all costs. They should just let her go. The experts, producers, whatever, they need to just step in and be like, listen, you gotta go. Because from this point on, whatever her and Chris do is gonna be abuse to Chris. She don't want him. She don't like him and she's not interested. Just go. Just go home. So they're done. They didn't make it past the damn wedding day. And everybody else got like kind of issues here and there. Could be big, could be small, but we'll have to see. But hey, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that, bell thing or whatever. And I see y'all next episode, man. Peace.